What up, Virginia Jets fans? This is your president, Adam Bartolo, and I am not broadcasting live from the studio apartment. No, I'm in my office, and I am on break right now. So, we did our video on the offense. This time I'm going to talk about the defense. Going to break this down into two parts as well. Facebook apparently likes 6-minute videos a lot more than 13-minute videos. Tried about 15 times to upload the 13-minute video. Didn't work out so well. Alright, so what I'm not going to talk about too much is defensive tackle. If there's one position group where the Jets are in really good shape, this is the one. Between Quinnen Williams, John Franklin Myers, they signed Sheldon Rankins from the Saints, Nathan Shepard, Foley Fatukasi. That's a pretty stacked interior defensive line that will be used in the 4-3 defense. Now, on the edge, on the outside part of the defensive line, a couple things here. They signed Carl Lawson, which was, I think, a fantastic free agent signing from the Cincinnati Bengals. You also have Jabari Zuniga. We still don't know what he is. He didn't really play much last year. Bryce Huff showed a few glimpses. We'll see how he does here. You do still have Kyle Phillips. And they also signed Vinny Curry as a veteran, sort of like a rotational pass rusher, that situational pass rusher, kind of like what Jason Taylor was all those years ago. So they could use another edge rusher. I would not use a premium draft slot on this, but if the right one comes along, you could look at doing this. Now, a couple of guys, Kwity Paye from Michigan, Azeez Ojulari from Georgia, and Jalen Phillips from Miami. Those are a couple of guys who are pretty well regarded. If one of them slides to 34, I can understand if they want to take that chance. But most likely, I would look a little bit later on in the draft. A guy like Joe Tryon from Washington, Patrick Jones from Pittsburgh intrigues me quite a bit. Also, Shaka Toney, I think that's a Penn State player, and Victor Dimukeje from Duke. So those are a couple of later round guys. If they don't draft an edge rusher here, I would not be too upset about it. I think that's something they can wait on until next year. So let that come to you. Now, these other positions next to I'm going to talk about are priorities. Now, one is linebacker. Linebackers, a lot of people would say you don't really need great linebackers to win in the NFL. Well, when you're playing a 4-3 defense, Robert Saleh plays a lot of base defense, meaning a lot of 4 defensive linemen, 3 linebackers. He doesn't like to go to the nickel as much. Your linebackers are going to be on the field a lot. They have to be fast and they have to be healthy. Think about what we have as linebacker. C.J. Mosley has not played in a year and a half. We don't really know what he has right now. Blake Cashman, capable player. He gets hurt falling down the stairs. They signed Jared Davis from Detroit. Rotational player, maybe not the best. This team needs speedy linebackers, and I would draft 2 linebackers here. Micah Parsons, I don't think is going to drop. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, interesting guy. He went to Notre Dame, but he played high school football not too far away at Bethel High School in Hampton. I don't think he'll drop either. There's some other guys like a Zaven Collins from Tulsa. That's another guy you could look at. But I think with 23 and 34, I wouldn't go there. I wouldn't draft them early. I would go 3rd round and maybe again around 5th or 6th round. So who are some 3rd round guys? Well, the first guy I would want is Jabril Cox from LSU. Very fast, great verticals, great tackler. Jabril Cox is a guy I would be, if he's available with that first pick of the 3rd round, it would be very hard for me to pass on him. Some other guys, Nick Bolton from Missouri, Cameron McGrone from Michigan. McGrone's not quite as fast, but he has, I think, one of the best. He's like the 99% percentile of tackling. In other words, this guy does not miss tackles. Dylan Moses from Alabama, very intriguing. He's kind of more of a boomer bust guy, but very, very capable. Monty Rice from Georgia. Derek Barnes is another guy I would take maybe about 5th or 6th round from Purdue. Nasty, nasty attitude, incredible motor, and one thing we know, you cannot teach a motor. He has it or he doesn't. Charles Snowden from Virginia. There are seriously 7 or 8 linebackers I would consider getting. And if the Jets wanted to draft 2 of those linebackers to help build up the depth at this position, I think it would be a fine idea. I would not be against it. Now, as far as the secondary goes, let's think about what we have at cornerback right now. We have not kept Brian Poole. I don't think he's going to be coming back. keep in mind, the new Jets defensive coordinator, Jeff Ulbrich, had Brian Poole and was working there when the Falcons let Poole go to the Jets. I don't think Poole's coming back, even though he's a very good slot corner. So our starting cornerbacks right now are Bryce Hall, who we like, looks like a pretty capable player, and Bless Austin. I'm not sure I'm feeling that. Their slot cornerback is Javelin Guidry. If you need a second to Wikipedia him, I understand. But he was an undrafted rookie, played pretty well. But, you know, we still have Lamar Jackson. I mean, the thing he's most known for is getting beat by Henry Ruggs at the end of the Raiders game last year. My gosh. So this team needs cornerbacks. They could still sign a Richard Sherman in free agency for 1 year. If they want that veteran leadership, that's fine. But I think cornerback is one of the top 2 or 3 priorities that this team has right now. The guys who probably won't last, I would say probably a Patrick Surtain. He probably won't drop. J.C. Horn's a guy I like a lot out of South Carolina. The odds are not good he'll drop. Now, 2 guys who could fall are Greg Newsome from Northwestern and Caleb Farley from Virginia Tech. Farley is probably the best cornerback in the draft, aside from the fact that he's had 2 back surgeries. How healthy is he? What do the teams think about his medicals? It's a big, big question. I don't think the Jets are in a position, like I've said before, to take a boomer bust pick with these top picks. 3rd round, I understand it, but with 23 and 34, you need a high floor. You know, if it doesn't work, if the guy just winds up being a solid starter, that's fine, but he has to contribute. We can only gamble so hard right here. A couple other guys that I'm interested in. Eric Stokes from Georgia, Tyson Campbell also from Georgia. Those are 2 very good corners that I think would work out very well. Asante Samuel Jr., very interesting player from Florida State. Some people like him in the 2nd round, some like him in the 4th round. Very good athlete, a little bit undersized. He might be more of your slot corner guy. Now, do you want to draft a slot corner that high? I don't know. I think I want that outside cornerback first. A couple other guys, Kelvin Joseph from Kentucky, Ambry Thomas from Michigan. 2 other guys, there's a couple of slot corner potential guys that I think I like here a little bit later in the draft. So you have Benjamin St-Juste from Minnesota, Cameron Bynum from California. One thing about Cameron Bynum, he played at California, and he was a team captain. If we remember last year, Joe Douglas loves to draft his team captains. He drafted about 5 team captains last year. I can see him drafting Bynum just for that. Another guy from LSU is Kerry Vincent. He's pretty terrific. Not too large, but he's a dog. He fights, he battles. That is a cornerback that a lot of people are very high on. That's a guy I could go for. So I would draft a cornerback with one of those, either that late 1st round pick or that early 2nd round pick, and I would take another one in the 6th round. I want to hit cornerback and I want to hit it hard. Safety, that's a little bit tricky. Right now, we got a couple. We got Marcus May under the franchise tag, so he's under contract for this year, then who knows. Well, Marcus Joyner, very good signing, free safety, 1 year. Ashton Davis, just drafted, don't really know what he is just yet. We know he's a good athlete, but what role does he really have on this team? And when you look at teams like the Patriots, who signed those 2 really good tight ends, Jets might need some safeties to cover those players. So I think a safety is something worth investing if the board falls a certain way, maybe 4th or 5th round. The guy that I'm looking at is Divine Diablo. Now, Diablo is also from Virginia Tech. Great size, great speed. He's like that safety linebacker hybrid where he can really run, can really hit hard, has a good closing burst, and that linebacker size safety. I like the idea of Diablo. Plus, the name is just awesome. I mean, can you imagine we get like Diablo jerseys? That'd be pretty awesome. Andre Cisco from Syracuse is another guy. There are a few people who are very high on Talanoa Hufanga from USC. That's another guy they might look at, but Diablo is the safety I would look at. There's definitely better safeties early in the draft, like a Trevin Moehrig from Texas Christian, but it's not a position of premium need here. I mean, Mike McCagnon's not doing the draft. I don't expect us to take safeties with our first 2 picks. Now what we've all been waiting for. I'm talking kicker. Because there's 2 primary kickers that I'm looking at. One is Jose Borregales from Miami. Very accurate leg, not the most distance in the world. And then you have Evan McPherson from Florida, who's still very accurate, but has a little bit of a bigger leg. So you could go either way with this, but with pick 226, hey, maybe we're going to wind up trading Sam Darnold for a franchise kicker. It could happen. But the fact that Joe Douglas took Braden Mann as a punter last year, and he wound up being about the best tackler that we have on the team right now, I could easily see them going after kicker with one of these picks. It's time to put some priority on the kicker. Come on, how deflating is it when they do score a touchdown and we actually miss the extra point and we have a half-hearted JETS chant? So that's what I'm looking at for right now. And again, round 1 will be Thursday night, starting at 8 o'clock. Friday will be rounds 2 and 3. That starts at 7. We'll be meeting for round 1. And then Saturday at noon will be rounds 4, 5, 6, and 7. So that's the schedule for the draft. I've already called Gators. They know we're coming. We've got the raffles ready to go. We got some prizes for you. We'll probably start doing the raffles, I'm thinking, after the Jets make their initial pick, since one of those raffles is based off who the Jets will draft with pick number 23 overall. So that's kind of the breakdown for right now. Looking forward to seeing y'all on Thursday night. Let's come out. Let's have a great time. Stay safe. Go Jets.